We're getting started. Sub 1 City. Nice file name. Alright, and we are underway here. Moving right into the prologue. TGH the first out of the gate. No surprises there. Alright, so yeah, no dash yet, so we just have these folks kind of jumping, hopping along. That's the only way to go fast in the first, like, few seconds of this run. GammaFunction playing the long game here.
We should probably make sure GammaFunction knows to go. If you want to commentate, I'll do that.
It's just part of the strategy. It's all part of the plan. All right, we're gonna wait for a sync here. Or not. I guess we're just moving along. All right, so broken macros proving to be a very appropriate file name at the moment. All right, so we have the other three racers at the moment entering Forsaken City. I always want to call it Forbidden City, but it's actually not called Forbidden City. It's called Forsaken City. And now we have some dashing mechanics coming up, so you'll see from TGH some really fast movement with a lot of ultra dashes, which are basically consecutive hyper dashes. Hyper dashes being a dash input into a jump. And the more of those you can get going consecutively, the faster you'll kind of fling yourself across the map.
You're correct on that. TGH is definitely flying through city, which we all knew was going to happen. But you got to give it to Horns. He's making really good time as well.
Hornlitz holding it down right now.
And then same thing with moarofthat, especially for his current PB. He's making really good time.
Definitely. Hornlitz, I believe, still has the IL record for Forsaken City at the moment with a sub 1.
Ooh.
So props. That's an insane time. Properly nuts. And we have more of that here, wrapping up Forsaken City, getting these last couple of screens in here, opting for some slower movement, just possibly to, just to keep the death count low here. I think at this point, because the matchups are a little bit uneven, I think these folks are just going to be working on, running against their personal bests rather than thinking about kind of like, kind of the race meta for this.
That's usually how it goes. There's always that one person in your bracket that has you. Like, I got Rev, so real fair match there.
yeah, the one seeds just kind of have it on lock for the most part.
Yep.
So old site here, we have TGH moving into the first encounter with Battlein. Moving through these dream blocks where you just kind of dash infinitely until you get out of them. Moving right along here, preserving his momentum really nicely, going into that switch room, just to get up to that first one as soon as possible.
Very hard to commentate anything with TGH in it.
Yeah, you blink and then he's like done. Yeah, for sure.
Horns is making really good time. He's not that far behind TGH.
Hornlitz is just a screen behind TGH at the moment.
moarofthat's almost to the Madeline section. 3 minutes, that's really good time for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're almost getting to the Battlein section for moarofthat here. Yes, TGH is going to be the first person into Awake here. Notorious for being just a dash fest here. It's some of the fastest movement we see in the run because it's all just very flat terrain for the most part, with a little bit of bumpy action. which can allow for some nice corner boosts that you saw at the end there on TGH's screen. And Hornlitz wrapping up as well.
Looks like we might be getting Gamma in the race. All about that RNG manip.
GammaFunction lives, nice.
It's all good though. It goes by file time, so
Exactly. not RTA, so we're good.
Horns is only about maybe 6-7 seconds behind TJ at the very most. And then more of that is making really good on the last room of the Battleland section already.
Ooh, more of that. Being a little bit sly with the Battlelands there at the end there, just to avoid getting wrecked at the last second and not dying. Hornlitz still holding his own against TGH at the moment. It's still just kind of a couple of screens behind. Moving quite nicely through this early phase of Celestial Resort Chapter 3, where we got you know, some moving mechanics kind of introduced for the first time, some moving parts, these dust bunnies. And TGH is going to be the first one into huge mess here.
I believe we may have lost GammaFunction. His stream went offline.
Oh, that's too bad. It happens. Technical issues are always on the table with this kind of thing, unfortunately. But we'll see if any movement ends up happening from GammaFunction. We'll see.
More of that's entering Celestial Resort itself right now. Hornless is not yet again very far behind TGH. Both of them are just literally blowing through every section.
And Hornlitz moving into the books section, the upstairs section of Huge Mess, as TGH wraps it up. It's 2 out of 3 sections in the books for TGH. And he's going to go into the laundry room next. Doing some nice hyper dashes through that room. Almost getting the strawberry there, but not quite. Strawberry was too strong. And we have Hornlitz here wrapping up the laundry room as TGH moves into elevator shaft, busting through that room with all the dash crystals really nicely. Alright, and TGH destroying the hyper room. He's going to be grabbing that key and moving right up to this final part before the Oshiro fight, the end of Celestial Resort. As Hornlitz about halfway through elevator shaft right now. Let's see how he does at the end of the screen. Always a little bit stressful with that kind of spooky bounce at the end. Can be very costly if you mess it up.
We can barely explain a section before either runner finishes it.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I had to mute there for a second. My apologies.
All good. We have more of that here entering Huge Mess as TGH here is starting the Oshiro fight. Spending these first couple of screens here mostly on the top, 1/3 of the screen. And now moving down, hitting this switch room without any issue whatsoever.
Tej has already started Oshiro. I don't even think he got a skip cutscene. Like, he literally just tasked right through it. Oshiro is the last section after battle and angers him. You've got to avoid him. Man, we can't even explain this. They're just like flying through it, literally. TGH is nearly done with Celestial Resort now on the last screen. With Horn not very far behind him. More of that making good time, though. Is he on the second section of Big Mess?
Yeah, he's... More of that's moving, I think to laundry room next? That's pretty unusual. Normally we see folks go up to the book section upstairs, so... kind of a new route that we don't really see a lot, which is pretty cool.
I mean, the good thing about Celestial Resort with the Big Mess is that you could slightly vary in it, because, I mean, it just takes away what you click on. So instead of doing bottom, top, middle, you could do anything that you choose. He just might be more comfortable doing it the other way, even though it's a little bit slower.
Very possible. Alright, Hornlitz, again, just kind of not, like, really not allowing TGH to get too much distance, you know, ahead of him at the moment. Hornlitz is putting on a really good show at the moment. We'll see how they how things start to shake out with these next couple of chapters here.
We're gonna get to see TGH pull off a spike jump right here. And before we can even explain it, it's done. Huh.
I think the interesting thing to note about TGH is that, you know, he does strats that a lot of folks do. He just, like, has a really good way of maintaining his momentum from start to finish throughout a screen. Just really, really good dash management, which can go a long way with kind of chaining a lot of these strats together. He just knows, like, kind of every room in this game inside and out, and it shows. And it pays off, definitely.
That's very true. We did mention they did a spike jump, and Horns just did one right there using a wall kick. Basically, to sum it up real quick, spikes, when you're going against them, have a hitbox. But when you're going away from them, they essentially don't have a hitbox. So while it looks like you're jumping off the spike, you're actually not. More of that is making good time in Celestial Resort, though. I said that and he died. Commentator's curse. I feel so bad.
Alright, TGH making short work of this first section of Golden Ridge here, entering the final section with heavier wind. This really becomes a test of how well can you manage your dash momentum from screen to screen so that the wind doesn't kind of hold you back. And you can see TGH, taking a death there at the end of the screen, but you know, just really knows like where to input these hyper dashes so that he just doesn't really get affected by the wind too much. Nice movement through that room there, just kind of hopping right off the snowball.
He's making really good time through it. And the snowballs is another thing that Tej with hundreds of hours knows there's no RNG involved. They have a set time they spawn, a set location they spawn, and he can use that to his advantage if he does mess up a dash or miss a jump or a grab.
Has Hornlitz close behind now, kind of just starting the heavy wind section as TGH wraps up Golden Ridge altogether. More of that, holding it down, finishing up Celestial Resort at the moment. Working their way through the Oshiro fight at the moment. Taking a death, unfortunately, at the end of that screen. And of course, once you die in the Oshiro fight, the death cycles can be kind of tough to reckon with because they're just a little bit different from what you get when you initially spawn into a room. So when deaths happen at the end of this chapter, it's really about just how well you know the backup cycles specifically.
Teach is making really good time through Mirror Temple, and that's one thing that we mentioned before but didn't really cover very hard with top tier runners, is that each room has a regular cycle, like Cam mentioned, and then each room also has a death cycle. So if you die in a room, you could literally go in a cycle that you don't remember exactly where everything is, like the Dust Bunnies in Chapter 3 of Celestial Resort. All different timings. Oh, Tej is showing off
Going
for a
for
second.
DBS. Let's see it. TGH, you're nuts. You're nuts, dude. Okay. Way to go.
In a race at that.
You're nuts.
There's never a second try. TGH does everything first try. We just don't know it. Making good work, getting ready to go into the mirror. Mirror world is basically where your fears come out. You're going to start as a seeker, which is getting ready to be introduced as an enemy. And it's only in this section. And it's going to vastly change the gameplay moving forward. It's also going to bring about our favorite person, Mixmaster Theo.
Hornlitz having a heck of a time right now trying to get through this screen that is short but deceptively difficult, depending on the strat that you end up going for. And Hornlitz showing what rational people do on that screen, not going for the double bubble skip. More of that, just getting off the ground here is Golden Ridge. Going for some hops on these clouds here. Just kind of moving smoothly through that screen without really kind of getting stuck on the dashes.
Said it once, we'll say it again. More of that is making really good time for what his time is in the game, and Horns is just a little bit behind Tej this entire time.
Yo, GammaFunction's alive, by the way.
What? He lives?
GammaFunction lives.
That's awesome.
Literally out of nowhere. So, hey.
We don't know how he did it, but he figured out the secret Oshiro skip.
GammaFunction wrong warped to Celestial Resort. Unfortunately, the time save, ended up not really amounting to much because we're looking at a 16:21 game time right now.
Tej is coming up on the Theo section already. Horn's not very far behind. But Gamma is making pretty good time for where he's at in Celestial Resort.
All right, definitely pay attention to TGH's screen. The Theo strats; these are always a spectacle.
Watching Tej just throw Theo around is a fair sight to behold.
Let's see if he does the hyper strat that I learned from him. Yep. Except he does it way better. So good. Okay, nice.
Let's see if he can get this. Gonna literally go all the way into the next room.
Maintaining the momentum into the next room. Smooth. Very smooth. Just wall kicking his face off right now. Suddenly on the last potentially dangerous screen here. Struggling a little bit there, kind of towards the end of the room, but that was really the only hiccup in that section that I noticed.
And that was the only one I saw. He did very good. He got every single wall bounce, every single neutral. Got Theo right where he needed to be.
I have to say, Hornlitz is like still.
He's not that far
kind
behind.
of on his tail. Kind of on his tail. Like, I'm not really gonna be sure like what Hornlitz's pace is until like we're in Summit, but it seems like this is good pace. We'll see. Definitely pay attention to Hornlitz here. Going forward.
We do get to see TGH. Let's see if he's going to go for Lake Skip in a race, which I'm not even know why I'm asking that. Why'd I even ask it?
I believe that's... I'm probably wrong. That's either a 1-pixel trick or a 3-pixel trick. It's a pixel trick.
It's very difficult.
It's a pixel trick.
Months ago, when this first started coming out, when I started running, so about 4.5 months ago, a lot of the runners didn't even think it was humanly possible.
3 pixels, thanks, Vlad.
We've got Hornlitz coming up to the end of Mirror Temple. So 18 minutes into Mirror Temple. He could still PB. You could probably see a 32 out of him, depending on how his summit goes.
GammaFunction wrapping up Celestial Resort here with what looks like... I don't know, it's maybe too early to tell, but GammaFunction's goal is a sub 1 hour, and I think that's definitely still on the table right now, depending on how they kind of cruise here in the next couple of chapters.
Hornlitz is entering Reflections. More of that is getting near the end of Golden Ridge, making good time as well.
I like the way that more of that plays. Just you know, keeping the death count pretty low. Just going for kind of the slow and steady strats in a lot of places, and really seems to be working out pretty nicely for them at the moment.
I mentioned that in the last race that I commentated. Even if you're not the fastest runner, you could still save a lot of time by taking the strat that's 2-3 seconds slower and not dying and repeating that over and over and over again. So he could easily shave 10 minutes off his PV alone with how high it is just by doing that without even looking like he's moving the fastest.
Yeah, it's really when you get down to like sub 40 when I think like the faster strats really start to matter. But until then, it's really just about keeping your death count low.
TGH does not know the definition of pixel perfect. TGH is actually a task bot with the name pixels written in. Just so that chat knows. Making very good time, almost up to battle end.
Did you see that water section? Like, how do you even do that, dude? How do you do it?
TGH is a task bot. We've come to know this.
Teach me everything. I want to know. Show me your ways. Excellent momentum boost there.
I went to look at more of that, and TGH already completed 3 screens. You want to explain the battle-in section, how it works before
TGH?
TGH?
So this is the big bad battle-in band and the Hey Ya singers. Dropping a new album, new mixtape. Sorry, what am I talking about? Oh, the battle and fight. So yeah, this is another kind of cycle-based section. You just kind of want to get these right the first time because in a lot of instances you kind of spawn in different places the second time. So it's all just about kind of consistency here, and also in TGH's case, obliterating everything in your path.
Yeah, the battle and fight is definitely one of the longer sections, but TGH is not going to make it look long at all. I'm guaranteeing we're going to see near the same thing out of Horns when he gets to it here shortly. But yeah, if you do die on the room, it's going to reset your cycle completely. You're going to be a different place, like Cam said, and it's just very hard to adjust to it unless you have all the cycles memorized, which we're not TGH, so we don't.
Hornlitz approaching the battle and fight himself at the moment.
Did Horns? Did he do the first skip? His stream kind of lagged. It looks like he didn't.
I'm not sure which skip.
With a 3 section going down to battle-in. Huh.
No, I'm not sure. So TGH kind of opening it up a little bit between himself and Hornlitz. Just with really smooth movement through this battle-in section. Already on the penultimate screen of the fight. Oh, and TGH totally lied, by the way. He didn't go for the 5B route change that was just kind of discovered recently.
Oh,
Shaking my head.
Tej does have the second place gold for Reflection, and if you watch him, it's one of his best stages by far every time. Don't get me wrong, the other ones are good, but Reflections is always just amazing to watch him.
Alright, let's see what's going on with more of that here. Moving into Unraveling, a very stressful part of the run, very claustrophobic screens here. With the Seekers kind of coming at you for the first time. We're going to see it kind of come into existence here. This is another area where it really comes down to just kind of understanding the enemies and knowing kind of where you're going to take them. They can be used to hit switches and stuff, so... and we just saw a nice example of that from more of that there. Just kind of letting the Seeker do some of the work for him, and
GammaFunction is doing a spike jump, and he's very determined to get it. Oh, right when I said that, he stopped. I'm sorry. Commentator's curse.
we have intel from the chat saying that TGH is currently at a 5% success rate with the 5B route change.
SMH. He didn't go for it, though.
Exciting times. Yeah, should have gone for it, honestly.
What would Rev think if he was here? Horns is nearly done with Reflection, going into the second part of the battle and fight. And Tej is now blowing through Summit, making it look like it's not even 500 meters. More of that, though, is making... commentators cursing.
Last room of Unraveling here, yeah. This is a very difficult room. It's long, and the Seeker is just kind of always on your tail. So it's a bit tricky to work your way through. You have to do a lot of improv a lot of the time, and we just saw that for more of that, definitely, but more of that makes it through.
He's doing really good. Basically, Sheep's Rev discovered a skip that if you collect the tape to unlock the B-side and you complete the B-side of that level, it'll actually unlock the next A-side. That is the new skip, in quotations, that was recently discovered, and that's what they're talking about. In theory, Perfect Task saves like 20 seconds doing Reflections B compared to Reflections A. And TGH is a task, so expect to see it coming soon. Hornlitz is getting ready to finish up Reflection, making decent time.
TGH looking like he's on like 31 pace, maybe, at the moment. I might have that wrong. As we have GammaFunction wrapping up the heavy wind section of Golden Ridge. And more of that entering the Theo section. Let's see how more of that does with Theo. This is definitely a part of the run where if you're a newer runner, you're going to be doing a lot of improvisation because the strats usually don't pan out like you want them to. So the Seeker takes full advantage of that and kind of bops you. We just saw a little bit of that for more of that.
Hey, we got to give it to both Gamma and more of that. They're both looking like they're on very good pace for their P. And then you have Hornlitz, same thing. Not very far behind TGH reality, and he's over 3 minutes behind on PB.
Hornlitz has been crushing it, yeah. Like, this has been a pretty impressive showing from Hornlitz. I think Hornlitz could PB still, maybe?
It's hard to say. It
Right,
just all
'cause-
kind of come down to his 3,000 meters.
So he has a 33 right now.
33.16, I believe it was. I closed that tab. I'm sorry.
It'd be tight. It'd be tight. He'd have to have an insane summit, but anything's possible.
Door skip will save the run. Just remember that. They don't call it the hardest trick for nothing. More of that's making really good time on the last section now of Mirror Temple, getting ready to go in actions.
Yeah, pretty smooth movement aside from a couple of kind of flubs here and there with a little bit of improv. But it's looking like more of that's going to be wrapping up this Mirror Temple with the 28. So with a good reflection and summit, possibly like somewhere in the 50 territory.
His BB, his BB, his BB. Oh my gosh! Just watch TGH do the skip.
his BP, his blood pressure,
is a 52.09, I believe it was.
120/80. Great blood pressure.
Oh man. Sorry,
Totally normal.
You get so distracted watching Teach do all these amazing things that you can't even talk.
Door
Oh, here he goes for door skip.
Door skip. Door skip. Door skip. Hey!
I would have actually laughed if he like purposely failed it.
Yeah, no problem there from TGH. Getting the fabled 1 second time save in 2,500 meters. GG's.
Ooh,
GGWP.
nice. Hornlitz just went for the real quick strategy on the Dust Bunnies during the last stream of 1500, and we completely missed it. More of that is starting reflections, making really good time for his PB. TGH is on the final 3,000. Oh! Right when I get ready to say Hornlitz.
Nice ultra movement from Hornlitz there in that room. That was wild. That was but unfortunately it gets caught up at the end. Really good movement though.
So if you all want to count TGH down, feel free to do so. Even though it's really hard to keep up with him. You go to type 27, he's already on 25. Hornlitz is very nice. Hornlitz got the auto scroller skip. Can you get the second part? Very good job.
More of that, doing some nice neutral jumps there.
Very nice.
Yeah, at the start of reflection. That's kind of that's a tricky part because you can kind of fall down and lose a bit of time just trying to climb up that wall with those kind of awkward neutral jumps. TGH winding down here, getting some nice bounces, doing some hot skips, avoiding that dash crystal off to the left there a moment ago. Down to flag 10.
I believe he's still in 31 territory. Definitely not a PB.
Reverse hyper into flag 9, skipping flag 8, up to flag 7.
It's looking like Hornlitz is going to be getting maybe a 34-30 would be my guess. A little bit behind his PB. Depending on how well he finishes off 25. Oh.
Yeah, just getting kind of caught up with these ultra strats, unfortunately. It's so hard. Your reaction time has to be so on point. And, you know, any small mistake can cost you a few seconds with those strats, so props to Hornlitz for at least attempting a lot of them and having some success.
You've got to also factor in for him, depending on like what he's used to with his streaming. Like TGH usually streams for hundreds of people. With the smaller runners, if they're not used to it, it's probably even more unraveling to think, oh, I've got 100, 200 people watching me.
TGH, just gonna miss the sub 31. Oh well. GG's though. You're nuts, dude. 3104. You're not
Oh,
like oh my god.
Hornlitz messed up the door skip.
GG's to TGH. That time is
31
is wacky. I think that'd be good for third place on leaderboards, if I'm not mistaken.
It would be just behind Bud Eye's run.
Yeah, so that's that would be good for third place.
Especially in a marathon setting where he intentionally showed off. Very good time.
What a wackadoodle. He's great. GG's to TGH.
More of that. Wow. Already flying through reflections, and the time that TGH did that, he's almost to the Madeline section now. He's making a really good time for what his PB is.
More of that going for the safe checkpoint strat there, and it pays off because he unfortunately dies and gets it the second time. Very clutch backup there.
I actually did not know about that checkpoint strategy until literally like a few days ago when someone mentioned it. I can't tell you how many times I have just grinded out those 3 skips and missed the last one.
Yep. Absolutely. I can relate. Hornlitz here wrapping up, doing some nice hyper movement here through this downdraft section where the wind's actually kind of pushing you down. So it's like a heavy gravity kind of effect, and boy is it obnoxious, but making short work of this section. Crushing this final area here with the consecutive dash crystals going up. And now in the updraft section where the opposite effect's happening, we become light and fluffy and feathery.
So yeah, sadly Hornlitz is not going to PB, but still an amazing run. He kept up
Very,
with
very
TGH.
impressive show. Definitely, yeah. Kept up with TGH for basically through Mirror Temple, right? Like they were kind
it
of
was
in the
Reflections where TGH really started pulling ahead, which TGH's not Mirror Temple, his Reflections is absolutely insane. Oh
yeah, and I mean he got like an 832 summit. Like you can't really compete against that at the moment. It's crazy. So Hornlitz, final few flags here of this updraft section here. Going through my personal favorite checkpoint there, checkpoint 11.
Gamma's making good time on Mirror Temple. He's nearly done.
Moving through checkpoint 9 without an issue there from Hornlitz. Always kind of a stressful flag. It's just really tight. There's really not a lot of wiggle room there, so if you get caught in between the spikes, you're very likely done for.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I think we lost... Nope, he's back. I thought we lost Gamma again. More of that's doing really good. He's almost on the second portion of Battling already. Hornlitz is looking like he's going to be coming up to the end of the summit here. Commentator's curse. I just need to stop talking.
Final 4 flags. This is looking like it's going to be a 35 unless something drastic happens. Which it always can. Flag 2 can be kind of a headache, depending.
If you miss the crystal block or not. Count them down.
Uno. Alright, so that's gonna be just about it for Hornlitz. Oh my god! Oh no, dude.
The death on flag 1.
Not flag 1, dude.
Oh
no.
no.
Not like this, dude. That's fine. Still finishing with an impressive time. One that he should be proud of for sure. That's a 35, 34. GG's to Hornlitz. Not bad at all. Again, with a really hot early game, 36 deaths.
That's really good. That's one thing that I think a lot of people forget about, especially those who are so used to watching. We all have different levels of our skill, and a 30 Sorry, I almost said 36. Of 35 during a race setting, still a very good time.
No doubt.
Wow. GammaFunctions tried to do the really quick strategy on that and ended up saving it accidentally by knocking Theo off the edge. I've never seen that save.
Gotta love when like the newer runners go for like the completely out of left field like fast strats, like the swag stuff. It's always finishing with an impressive time. Whoa, I'm hearing myself. Should be proud of for sure. That's a 35, 34. GG's to Hornlitz. That's weird. Not bad at all. Are you hearing that like echo? Again, with the really hot early game, 36 deaths. What's going on?
That's really good. That's one thing that I think a lot of people about. I'm not sure, but I hear you too. It's not my computer. We all have different.
I think we're getting like double audio or something.
And a 30. Sorry, I almost said 36. A 35 during a race setting, still a very good time.
No doubt.
Wow. GammaFunctions tried to do the really quick strategy on that and ended up saving it accidentally by knocking. Looks like we have Teach in here though now. Edge. I've never seen that save.
What's up, guys?
Very good race from you, Teach.
Like, hey, we just go for like the.
Thanks,
the
yo. What's going on, dude?
Left field, like, fast
how are you guys
strats,
doing?
like the swag stuff. Things are good, dude. Congrats on the low 31. We're having some issues with audio right now on the stream, so we're kind of hearing double at the moment. So we'll just kind of see if that resolves, but we'll kind of touch base in a second.
Someone needs to mute their audio.
Someone at Speed Gaming's getting fired, dude.
I blame Hornlitz. Personally. So yeah, thank you guys for commentating.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure to watch.
Thank you for another amazing run. Thank you for always showing off, Mr. Taskbot.
Sure.
Yeah,
it was an interesting run. I felt like I don't know. I don't want to say like I wasn't warmed up, but like it was kind of strange. Like early on, I felt kind of off, like just a little bit, like just enough to like have a bunch of deaths that cost me like 10+ seconds, especially in like chapter 3. Chapter 2 was kind of weird too, but chapter 3 was really good until the last room before Oshiro, when I decided to die twice at the very end of the room, and it was 10 seconds each. But
yeah,
other than that, it was okay. Chapter 4 was weird again. Chapter 5 was weird.
Weird in what way?
Weird. I tried a new strat for search skip and it didn't go well. Well, it didn't go well the first time.
Yeah, I saw a second try DBS. That was nice.
Yeah, DBS was fun. I didn't even know. Okay, so there's a new strat I've been trying with search skip where you reverse, instead of doing a reverse jump dash, you reverse hyper and corner boost. And it's really strange, but apparently I was able to make it all the way over without even maintaining a dash, which I didn't even know you could do.
That's impressive.
But yeah, that's not recommended. I would not recommend doing that. I figured I would try it. It was just like a random thing, but yeah.
Hey, it worked out. Good to know. You can keep that in your back pocket, I guess, for next run.
Yeah, just reverse jump dash, guys. It's not worth doing anything more than that unless you're Bye-Bye or Revo.
Yeah, I saw Flad doing a similar kind of crazy setup recently.
So it got mentioned in chat earlier, Teach. Are you really going to go for the newfound technique of using the B side compared to the A?
I mean, sub 30, right?
It's free. Yo, I heard that you have like a 5% success rate right now. That's good.
It's not even that. It's like more like 2.
That's too bad.
But yeah, in all seriousness though, like yeah, it's not too viable yet, at least. Yeah,
that's how
it's not something you'll see me going for anytime soon to try to improve my own time, but
that's how these things start. Like there could be a setup eventually that comes into being kind of magically. It just kind of works for some reason.
Yeah.
Never say never, I guess, but yeah, it does seem ridiculous at the moment.
You can never say number. Just look at Super Mario Brothers.
Also, hi Hornlitz.
Yeah, how's it going, Hornlitz?
Hey.
I didn't even see he snuck in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I kept quiet because you were talking.
Yo, you were kind of keeping up with TGH for a while.
Yeah,
That
my
was
early
pretty-
game was okay there. Chapter 1
Yeah.
was, I mean, for me it was awful, but it was overall okay. And then Chapter 2 was actually very solid. I was only 4 seconds off my IL best.
That's very good.
Yeah, I'd say through like 5 chapters, you were definitely
Yeah, Chapter
seeming
3...
like you were on insane pace.
I wouldn't say insane pace, but Chapter 3 was alright. I had a few costly deaths, but it was overall okay. And then Chapter 4 was bad. Well, it wasn't that bad. And then I can't remember what Chapter 5 was like.
I mean, from the sense of it, we mentioned it several times. Till collection. That's one thing in its own manner right there. Very, very young.
Yeah. So, how did this run feel, Hornlitz? I know it's kind of like a couple minutes off PB, but it seemed like
I mean,
it seemed like overall like it was pretty tight up until like kind of the end game.
yeah, there were some good parts. Again, I'm pretty proud of that Chapter 2. Like, I will take I think it was a 153. I'll take that like any race, any day even, like just in a normal run. But,
Yeah, that's wild.
a lot of the other ones were not so great. Chapter 7, I was doing really, really well. I think it was pretty much perfect up until 50 or 2000. And then I had a couple misinputs that just cost me some time, and then
Yes.
snowballed a bit from there.
Literally.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I saw that room with the strawberry at the end. Just kind of
Died like
the really smooth start, but then just like those like last minute, like kind of small mistakes. But it's always unfortunate when a death like that happens at like the very end of a room.
yeah.
You know.
No, but I mean, still overall, the first half of Chapter 7 was like pretty much perfect. Maybe just like a couple seconds of improvement. At least for me. I'm sure Tej can do it like, 20 seconds faster than me. But
Pshaw.
but yeah, no, it's overall that part was pretty good.
Yeah. So GG's guys. How do you guys have more races coming up, or like what's going on?
Well, I at least have one more scheduled in a little bit. It's, I think, on the 9th I have it scheduled. And then other than that, we had one person that dropped out of our bracket, so I don't have a race with them. And there's one more person I'm still waiting on. So for now, it's just the one race that I potentially have, or that I will have on the 9th.
Gotcha. So yeah, I guess things are kind of winding down at this point, which is exciting. How are y'all feeling about the bracket phase?
It's gonna be exciting for sure. To see what develops. On a best of 3 format, double elim. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, I'm a little relieved it's double elimination because I have this, bad fear that I'm gonna face like Tej on the first round.
Yeah, the dice roll,
Yeah.
If you want reassurance, Horn, my very first streamed match was against Revo.
I mean, my first one was against Oddbod, so.
Yeah, your bracket's pretty tough, or
Yeah, we had a
seemingly.
pretty tight bracket.
I think as for me, I have 3 matches left. None of them are scheduled yet. We're working on that. We will have those done by the deadline for sure, though. We're in the process of getting that ready.
Nice, yeah. I feel like this is kind of the time where a lot of folks are just kind of last minute, like organizing like times to meet up and
Yeah.
get stuff done. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap up like my last scheduled match at the moment as well. So yeah. Any final words, guys? We're gonna kind of kick it back to commentary, I think, in a second as these other folks wrap up.
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys once again for commentating.
Thanks.
Thank you, Speed Gaming, for restreaming. Whoever's restreaming this, thank you. I think it's Cyclone or whoever's restreaming. Thank you. And again, thanks to the tourney admins, besides myself, who are putting in just a ton of work to make sure this tournament goes smoothly. So thank you guys as well.
Yeah, definitely.
For
Other
sure.
than that, yeah, I don't think I've got anything else.
That's all I can think of. Thank you yet again to both you guys for the amazing.
Yeah. All right. So getting back to what's happening on the stream here, we have more of that. It looks like GammaFunction's kind of frozen at the moment. So it looks like we're just kind of looking at more of that. Wrapping up 2,000 meters at the moment. Moving through this last room with the battle and orbs, getting thrown every which way. And moving pretty smoothly through this first half. It's always a little bit scary kind of wrapping up this section, especially if you do like the dash cancels, which more of that chose not to do there at the end. But kind of ends up clearing that last screen without an issue. Moving on to 2,500. We have the return of the bubbles with a vengeance. Opting not to go for the jump strat into this room, where you can kind of do a couple of jumps to avoid triggering the dash blocks here.
That is still making a good time. PB is 52.19, so it doesn't look like he's going to get a PB, but he did a very good. He had a really good early game.
Yeah, it looks like a mid 50, like 53, 54 might still be on the table here. Not going for key skip here.
Nice save though.
Which I get it.
It's a very hard trick. I mean, once you get it down, it's kind of like door skip. It's easy, but if you're losing time and you don't feel comfortable with it, sometimes it's the best thing to not chance losing time.
The time loss can really kind of accumulate quickly with that particular strat, unfortunately. If you try it like 3 or 4 times, it's like, well, I might as well just gone downstairs.
Yep.
But more of that here, kind of showing off kind of some different approaches to these stages that we didn't see from the other runners.
I cannot tell why GammaFunction's frozen screen with Kevin is hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The Kevin block mid rage.
Yeah, more of that was actually telling me before the race started that he didn't actually start running this game until SGDQ happened. So it's impressive that he's such a new runner, but still able to pull off what he's pulling off. It's pretty impressive for such a new runner.
That's
Yeah,
very true.
just the consistency, especially that we've been seeing for a lot of these rooms, just like not taking a death. And just kind of doing the slow and steady approach. It's working out really nicely. Wrapping up the last moments here of 2,500, going into 3,000 meters. 30 flags to go. This is always kind of an optimization nightmare, these first couple of flags.
You want
All
to
about getting like wall bounces.
You want to go at him very
Sure.
aggressively, but if you miss one and fall down, it's such a major time loss, especially if you're really close to PB.
Potentially super frustrating, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
we've got to give it to him. If he really didn't start running till SGDQ and he's already down to like this range, that's a really good time.
Yeah, I think same with GammaFunction too. GammaFunction was saying that like, their PB, I think at the start was like a 130 something. So it's amazing just the amount of improvement that we've seen from a lot of folks in a very short amount of time with this tournament.
Doing very good. I remember a week before the tournament, I was not getting below 110 when I was literally getting IL levels that were coming out to 45 or below. So, I mean, it's definitely been a good thing with the tournament, getting everyone back into it who's been playing or whether they're new runners altogether.
For sure. Moving through the downdraft section here, the that kind of heavy gravity effect that I was talking about earlier. Really not having too much of an issue with it though. Already kind of on these last few dash crystals going up to the updraft section.
Updraft section is arguably one of the best sections in the entire game too. 52 minutes. Sub 55. He should be able to get.
Winding down here. This is always a tricky flag. You just have to maintain your stamina through the end. Usually you kind of start to flash red towards the end of that, but just really smooth and steady gameplay. This is actually awesome to watch.
He's doing really good. He's blowing right through it. No mistakes.
Final 10 flags for more of that. Crushing this updraft section. Flag 9, usually, yep, kind of a tricky test of wills here. Just kind of really tight, precise platforming there. Opting to go for flag 8 instead of skipping it. Just kind of playing the safe bet there. It paid off because I believe there was a death there. Six flags to go. Moving up to that second cloud without an issue. Very nice.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, unfortunately, yeah, used an extra dash there, but
He did
fixed his
salvage it.
mistake. Yep. Hitting the feather and sailing up to the final 3 flags here.
Looking like he's going to be right at the 55 range. He's doing really good opting the
Potentially.
safe strat there.
Could it be? It could still be a sub 55, I think. We'll see.
It could be. Oh,
Ah! Don't tell me I jinxed it, dude. Not like this.
that's why I try not to talk that much.
I know. I totally get it. All right, flag 1. 23 seconds to go.
It's looking like we are going to see a sub 55.
Very nice finish for more of that here. That's going to be I can't really tell on the restream, but that looked like a 15-minute summit.
54.50. It looked like a 15:40 summit.
GG's.
That was very good. Can we,
Not-
by chance,
too
get more
shabby.
of that in here, or
I'm not sure what's going on. We'll see. We'll see if they come in. Still no update on GammaFunction's end. I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing the end of their run. We'll kind of see what's going on behind the scenes here.
he was having stream trouble earlier. I had his running in a secondary, and it was freezing a lot. But I mean, it does happen. So that's sadly one of the parts about streaming and just where you live at with internet, sadly.
Yeah, gotta pray that they were doing like a local recording or something.
54.50, definitely a good time. A little bit off PB, but
Yeah,
especially
103
without-
deaths. Definitely some wiggle room there in terms of death count, so I bet that more of that can probably pull off a sub 50 without too much of an issue.
Yep.
Given that death count. So definitely keep it locked there and kind of see how they progress for the last couple of races. All right. So, we're kind of in limbo right now. I don't know if more of that's coming in. Don't know if GammaFunction's going to just suddenly reappear like they did like 15 minutes into the race, but we'll see.
I mean, that viable Oshiro skill, like wrong word, amazing.
Yeah, the wrong warp to Oshiro was pretty strong.
I mean, I don't see more of that on Discord, so if Tej and Hornlet don't have anything else to say with GammaFunction being MIA, I would assume that we'd have to call it here and follow up with that, but I'm not 100% sure either. His local stream's not on either.
Yeah, we'll wait another minute, I guess, and if there's no sign or anything, I guess we'll just call it. But
in case he is inside the Speed Gaming chat, though, it was a very, very good run for more of that again.
all right. Well, here we are. I think I think we're gonna call it because we don't really have an update from like an admin or anything. So thanks so much for watching, guys. This was a fun race, fun set of races. It
was very fun to commentate, especially this one. And
lots of different strats were showcased. Different
sure.
levels.
Thank you guys again.
No problem.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now we should go lurk and teach us a stream. And if you guys are not following Hornlitz or more of that, make sure you do give them a follow. Especially if you enjoyed the race that they put on for you today.
I just did the little runner command there. Go ahead and give them a follow if you aren't following them already. And keep it locked on Speed Gaming. We have more tournament matches coming up yet. Another 10 days of hot Celeste action. So don't miss a beat. Speed Gaming 1 through 6. More to come. Stay tuned.